Let's take a look at how to divide fractions. Now, dividing fractions, and I'm going to start actually with a whole number. Now, let's say we said we take the number 4, and let's divide that by something. Well, if we divided 4 by 2, that would be the same as saying, let's multiply it by a half. 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. Or we could say 4 times 1/2. In other words, what's half of 4? Half of 4, or 4 divided by 2. Let's have a look at that. Well, if I turn the 4 into a fraction, I'd simply just do that. 4 times 1 is 4. 1 times 2 is 2, right in the vinculum. And then we can say, well, let's simplify that. We can divide both of these by 2. So let's divide the 4 by 2. Let's divide the 2 by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I've got 2 over 1. And of course, anything divided by itself is equal to itself. So 2 over 1 is the same as just saying 2. 4 over 1 is the same as saying 4. 1 billion over 1 is the same as saying 1 billion. So really what we do is every time we want to divide by something, we can just multiply it by its reciprocal. In other words, we take this number and we flip it up the other way, because 2, remember, is just 2 over 1, and I'm just turning this up the other way. Now, of course, when you divide, you don't say 4 divided by 2 is the reciprocal of 2 times. We wouldn't say that. But that's how we think about it when we use fractions. So let's look at another one. Here we go. Let's look at 7 over 3. And let's divide 7 over 3 by 1/4. We're dividing 7 over 3 by 1/4. And what does that mean? It means we've got 7/3, and the division becomes a multiplication, and I find the reciprocal. I flip this up the other way, and it becomes 4 over 1. 7 4s are 28, 3 1s are 3, and the answer is 28/3, or 28 over 3. Let's have a look at another one. Let's look at 5 over 8, 5/8 divided by 2. Now, 5/8 divided by 2 is the same as saying, I'm going to turn this into a fraction, so 2 over 1 is 2. So I've got 5/8. Divide becomes times. 2 over 1 becomes 1 over 2. I just flip this up the other way. And when we flip it up the other way, the word we use is reciprocal. We found the reciprocal. And 2 over 1 is the reciprocal of a half. And a reciprocal of a half is 2, or 2 over 1. Well, let's see what that comes to. Well, I've got 5 times 1 is 5. 8 times 2 is 16. So 5/8 divided by 2, or 2 over 1, same thing, is the same as 5/8 times its reciprocal, 1/2. And there is the answer.